Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Sunday, May 8, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Dallas Mavericks vs Phoenix Suns. Our team pick is Dallas Mavericks plus 1.5 points. The Dallas Mavericks are averaging 106 points on 44.9% shooting and allowing 104.2 points on 47.3% shooting. Luka Doncic is averaging 32.2 points and 6.8 assists, while Jalen Brunson is averaging 24.1 points and 4.7 rebounds. Spencer Dinwiddie is the third double-digit scorer, and Dorian Finney-Smith is grabbing 5.4 rebounds. The Dallas Mavericks are shooting 37.6% from beyond the arc and 78.5% from the free throw line. The Dallas Mavericks are allowing 33.1% shooting from deep and are grabbing 35.9 rebounds per game. After scoring 125 points per game over the course of the first two games of the series and shooting 55% from the field, the Phoenix Suns offense was turned away in Game 3 by a tenacious Mavericks defense. The Suns again shot well from 3-PT range, hitting on 46% of their shots, but shot just 43% from inside the arc. In addition, the Suns turned the ball over an uncharacteristic 17 times in the loss. It was also the first game in the playoffs that the Suns failed to score at least 100 points. Veteran all-star Chris Paul had just 12 points and 4 assists while committing 7 turnovers, one off of his career high. The Suns bench had its worst showing of the playoffs as well, shooting just 5 for 16 and contributing 17 points. In the first two games, the Mavericks tried to outscore the Suns' potent defense and fell short in both games. In Game 3, back home in Dallas, the Mavericks decided to take a different approach and decided to try and slow down the Suns' attack. The Mavericks went at the centerpiece of the Suns' attack, Chris Paul, and the results were an 11-point win that places them right back into the series. Luka Doncic, who averaged nearly 40 points per game in the first two, was more economical in Game 3. He scored 26 points, dished out 9 assists, and had 13 rebounds. For the first time in the series, his number one running mate Jalen Brunson stepped up to the plate offensively. Brunson scored a team-high 28 points, going 10 for 21 from the field, and added 5 assists. Bullock, in addition to harassing Paul all game, scored 16 points including 4 for 10 from long range. Dallas was also supremely efficient with the basketball, turning it over just 8 times. The Phoenix Suns and the small chalk is attractive given what they've done all year, and I wouldn't talk you off the ledge if that's the direction you're leaning. With that said, the Mavs get better play from their role players at home, and their defense is even better. In 4 home playoff games, the Mavs are allowing 93.5 points on 43.1% shooting from the field and 31.2% shooting from deep. The Suns also have zero answer for Luka, and he put on a masterclass in Game 3. The Mavs have a decent chance at evening up this series. I'll grab the free bucket. Our total pick is over 215. The Suns had their 4-game winning streak snapped by the Mavericks in their last game. They will try to bounce back from the loss with a win on Sunday, which will give them their 5th win in their last 6 games and a 3-1 series lead. The Mavericks snapped their 2-game losing streak with a win over the Suns in their last game. They will try to keep the momentum going with another win over the Suns, which will give them their 2nd win in a row and even up the series. Dallas is averaging 106 points per game in the postseason. They scored 103 points in their last game, making 44.4% of their field goals and 33.3% of their three-pointers. Jalen Brunson led the way for the Mavericks with 28 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Luka Doncic finished with 26 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals, while Reggie Bullock added 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. Dallas has played well defensively, giving up 104.2 points per game. They gave up 94 points in their last game and will need to keep it up if they want to win this game. Miami Heat vs Philadelphia 76ers. Our team pick is Philadelphia 76ers minus 1.5 points. I wonder if he still feels the same way. Miami got bullied by Philly's defense in a way that had one game making it seem like a completely different series. The Heat got held to 35.1% shooting, along with going -9 on the boards. And Embiid didn't even play his best game. The latter point is the scariest takeaway for a Heat team on the verge of letting the series slip out of their fingers. It'll be a whole new series if they drop Game 4 in similar fashion on Sunday. Butler can't be the only starter scoring in double figures if the Heat have any hopes of competing. Where was Bam Adebayo in the matchup? And yes, this was Kyle Lowry's first game back, but he can't allow himself to get held scoreless, especially as a starter with 25 minutes on the floor. It can't happen. The Heat aren't being asked to score 120+ points in games. A solid defensive game plan and at least some offense is sufficient. Even with Embiid on the floor, the Sixers were held to less than 100 points scoring. But don't expect Jimmy Butler and the Heat to just take it on the chin and roll over. No, they'll have a response coming for Game 4 that the Sixers will have to match to even up the series. It all starts on the defensive end of the floor. That's the bread and butter of this series in particular, considering neither team is particularly explosive offensively. Philly has a top 10 scoring offense with opponents only averaging 106.2 points per game when playing in their home building. With that said, Embiid knows he can do better on the offensive end of the floor. He was averaging 30+ points in the regular season, and he could be as much of a terror on the scoreboard as he is on the rebounding boards. The Sixers need to ride the mental high they found from Game 3 into Game 4, with Embiid back in the lineup. This is a different Sixers team with Joel Embiid on the floor. The team as a whole plays significantly better defensively, and there isn't as much pressure on James Harden to turn back the clock to his Houston days on offense. Miami looked completely shell-shocked in Game 3, as the momentum of the series clearly shifted to Philly. After coming out flat in the first couple of games, the Sixers have been reinvigorated by the return of their star center. Shots on the interior are harder to come by with the human skyscraper in the paint, and Miami is also struggling from long-distance shooting against a Sixers team with the 5th best three-point defense in the league. Opponents are only averaging 34.2% shooting from beyond the arc against Philly this season. I'm expecting Game 4 to be a bit more competitive, but ultimately, it'll look the same with Jimmy Butler failing to play hero ball on another bad shooting night for the Heat. The last hero standing in this meeting will be the one wearing the mask. Our total pick is under 207.5 points. And here is why. Miami was looking to take a commanding 3-0 series lead, but with Embiid back in the lineup that did not happen. In the game, they were outscored 41-34, but they were outscored 31-14 in the loss. They were led by Jimmy Butler who dropped 33, while Tyler Herro had 14, and every other player did not record double-digit points. Joel Embiid returned to the lineup in Game 3 and made it much more interesting as he helped the 76ers blow out Miami. In his return, he recorded a double-double with 18 points and 11 rebounds, while Danny Green and Therese Maxey both dropped 21. James Harden, meanwhile, chipped in with 17 to make this series much more interesting. Philadelphia went 24-17 at home this season and went 2-2 against Miami this season as they alternated wins and losses, including winning one on the road and one at home. In the playoffs, they have been led by Embiid who's averaging 25, while Maxey is averaging 22.4 and Harden is chipping in with 18.6. They have also shot the ball well as they are shooting 47.6% from the field and 37.6% from 3 during the playoffs. The Heat have been led by Butler, who's averaging 27.4 ppg in these playoffs, while Herro is averaging 15.1, while Bam Adebayo is chipping in with 14.8. In the playoffs, they are shooting 45.3% from the field and 33.4% from 3, compared to 46.7% from the field and 37.9% from 3 during the regular season. This season they went 24-17 on the road and 35-17 against Eastern Conference teams. Batman is back for the Sixers. Joel Embiid wore a hero's mask in his return to the Wells Fargo Center to help lead Philly to their first win in the Eastern Conference semifinals series. It wasn't his best defensive performance, but he served his role as the team's primary rim enforcer, along with snagging a game-high 11 rebounds. His mere presence on the floor had the Sixers looking like a different team than the one from the previous 2 games. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you the user or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.